A 22-year-old Julius Caesar was captured by Sicilian pirates in the year of 75 before Christ on his way to the island of Rhodes to study oratory. This he regarded as a blessing from the very beginning, for instead of being lectured by some old Greeks regurgitating their explanations of the success of greater men, he'll be able to put his skills to the test in the real world. Caesar believed there were two types of authority. The first arose from either station or circumstance, and the second was some animalistic pecking order that naturally came about. You could see this in some men who, despite being the official head of the family, submitted to women in the household, or a nobleman who felt intimidated in the presence of taller, muscular peasants, an officer unable to gain the respect of his men. The second authority was usually expressed without words, but it was strongly felt. When the pirates asked for 20 talents as his ransom, Caesar laughed at them and told them he was worth at least 50. The pirates had never had someone negotiate an increase in ransom, or a man showing a complete lack of fear in the situation. He addressed them as if oblivious to the fact that he was a captive, and mixed insult with praise, which was so entertaining the pirates couldn't get mad as they continually burst into laughter. Caesar seemed like an old friend who can get away with insulting you because he is that old friend. And you knew if you ever needed help, he'd be the first to come at your assistance. Caesar also spoke about history, religion, and current events. The pirates had never cared about these topics, but the way Caesar spoke captivated them, and they kept wanting to hear more. He also shared with them his own oratory and poetry, and insulted them if they didn't like it. Having become a late night drinking partner, he no longer slept with the captives and would be shushing the pirates if they were too loud and would tell them. The bossing around started when Caesar got pissed off at the awful meals the pirates would prepare. He began telling them how to cook, and the pirates were amazed at the meals they could prepare with the same ingredients they had always had laying around. Caesar would tell them how barbaric they were. He would come back one day to crucify them all, at which the man took as a joke and laughed. Caesar and the pirates also participated in sports, where Caesar would lead as a commander. The situation was a reverse Stockholm syndrome, where it was the pirates who identified with Caesar and grew to love him. After 38 days, the ransom arrived, and Caesar and the pirates departed as dear friends. Caesar, however, didn't go to Rhodes, but landed in the mainland of modern Turkey and raised up a small army and headed back to the island that had seen him prisoner. When arriving, the pirates greeted Caesar, who they viewed as a friend, with open arms, but were shocked to see that Caesar was hostile and told them they were under arrest. The pirates were outnumbered and tried to persuade Caesar to let them go, at first referring how they saw him as a friend and treasured their time together, and later promising to give him everything they owned, a buried treasure, if he let them go. At this, Caesar got angry and said he would not be bought like a common whore. He placed a man in his ship and sailed back to Asia. The Roman governor in the region didn't think that the captured pirate deserved the death penalty and should be allowed to pay a ransom and be released, to which, of course, the governor would get the lion's share. After hearing this, Caesar himself went down to the prison and had the pirates crucified. Before the first nail was hammered through the pirates' leader, Caesar looked at him in the eyes and smiling said, I told you I would crucify you. The leader of the pirates, shouting with terror coming through his voice, asked him why he was doing this. They had never mistreated him in the island. He was their friend. Caesar, with nothing but spite in his voice, said to him, I am a direct descendant from Venus herself. A transgression against me is a transgression to divinity itself. It is my duty to see you pay for what you've done, scoundrel. Caesar stayed a while watching the pirates scream in agony. He asked one of the soldiers how long they would stay alive. The soldier said you never knew for sure. Some hours, perhaps 4 days at most. Caesar didn't leave Asia until he saw the last man dying the cross, occasionally staring directly to the agonizing eyes. Men who had once called him friend and had considered meeting Caesar one of the highlights of their lives.